Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 11, text number 19. Sonanto antakaraha kalo anadiradikritavyayah janam janena janayan marayan mrityuantakam. Translation, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is ever existing, but in the form of time. He is a killer of everything. He has no beginning, although he is the beginning of everything, nor is he ever exhaustible, although everything is exhausted in due course of time. The living entities are created through the agency of the Father and killed through the agency of death, but he is perpetually free of birth and death. Purport. The supreme authority and the inconceivable power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be minutely studied from this verse. He is always unlimited. That means that he has no creation or end. He is, however, death in the form of time as described in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, I am death, I take away everything at the end of life. Eternal time is also without beginning, but it is the creator of all creatures. The example is given of touchstone, which creates many valuable stones and jewels, but does not decrease in power. Similarly, creation occurs many times, everything is maintained, and after a time everything is annihilated, but the original creator, the Supreme Lord, remains untouched and undiminished in power. The secondary creation is made by Brahma, but Brahma is created by the Supreme Godhead. Lord Shiva annihilates the whole creation, but at the end, he is also annihilated by Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu remains. In the Vedic hymns, it is stated that in the beginning there is only Vishnu, and he alone remains at the end. An example can help us understand the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Lord. In the recent history of warfare, the Supreme Personality of Godhead created a Hitler, and before that a Napoleon Bonaparte, and they killed many living entities in war. But in the end, Bonaparte and Hitler were also killed. People are still very much interested in writing and reading books about Hitler and Bonaparte and how they killed so many people in war. Year after year, many books are published for public reading regarding Hitler's killing thousands of Jews in confinement. But no one is researching who killed Hitler and who created such a gigantic killer of human beings. The devotees of the Lord are not much interested in study of the flickering history of the world. They are interested only in Him who is the original creator, maintainer and annihilator. That is the purpose of Krishna Consciousness movement. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So the role of the form in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead is tangibly experienced in this material world as time is being explained by Swayambhuva Manu to Dhruva Mahārāja. In the material world, the living entities have all turned their face from their supreme complete whole, the supreme living entity, Krishna or Vishnu, for wanting to have a life of independent existence, knowledge. bliss, because that is the nature of the soul. Turning away one's face from the Supreme Lord, turning away from the relationship, potential relationship the living entity can have with the Supreme Lord. The living entities in this material world are still under the control of the Supreme Lord through His impersonal plenary expansion as Kala. It is very important for us to realize. People say, actually by pointing out the effect of Kala, you can make someone understand that he is controlled and he is not the controller. It is Kala. He is an energy, he is a force, a plenary energy of the Lord, moving the entire world from this moment to next moment, to next moment, to next moment. It is a Kala that causes the birth of the living entity through a father. It is the very same Kala that pushes our body to grow from a baby body to a child body to adult body to old age to death. If a person, especially in the material world, those who are karmis, who are in bodily concept of life, if you point out to them that you don't have desire to grow old, but somebody is making you grow old, Kala. And when everything is fine, you don't want to die, but Kala will make you die. Making people aware of the action of Kala as a representative of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, who is all-pervading, seated in everyone's heart, who is residing in every particle, all-pervading, making them understand that they are controlled, they are not controllers, is a first step in Krishna consciousness. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. That is considered to be transcendental knowledge. If one understands that these things, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, brings only trouble to me, Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. Because I want to be eternal, I don't want to be born and die. I want to be eternal, so it's a dukkha. I am enforced, birth and death is enforced upon me. I have to, and I didn't have any choice where to be born from. This also we can tell. Those who are atheists, you had no choice where to be born from. So the atheist will say, why should I bother? Okay, I was born, that's all, in that family. What is wrong with it? No, but I'll give you a chance if I tell you that you could have been born in now you're so much struggling for money and all these things, you could have born in a rich family. Just like if I tell you you're getting a lottery, you want or not? No, I want it. So here's also you would have preferred to be born in a better family. Or you were born in a family so many desirables are there for you even now. You believe in God or not, you have desires. And those desires are restricted by the family in which you are born. Whether that is Krishna or not, leave it. But the fact is that there is a force that is making you grow old, Kala. Nobody knows. Everything is so complicated. In physics, you throw on marble, you can predict it will go there. In 5 minutes, it will reach there. 2 minutes, it will reach there. You can predict. This entire world is run by cause and effect, yet you do not know what is tomorrow. Where is man's knowledge or capacity of knowledge? Right now, we see the world in such a turmoil. Everybody says the World War III is coming. There is a World War III coming, it has already come. When a seed sprouts, you will see only a small shoot. You don't see a tree. When comes tree, then you say it's a tree, but it's already a tree. The same way, already Prabhupada predicted. So, World War. So, big pundits, big intellectuals, historians, everybody, because of their tiny intelligence and knowledge, has to wait tomorrow what happens. You cannot predict. That fellow will also take the newspaper and say, what happened today? Yesterday, what happened? Huh? So who is moving? Okay, I'd like to move things I'd like to move in such a way there should not be any war. Somebody desires. Some Asuric fellows will say there has to be war. Who decides? Finally, he also doesn't know whether there will be a war. Both of them don't know what is tomorrow. That is decided by Kala. Krishna's powerful force. So preaching to atheists, you have to preach a lot about Kala. That they are controlled. In the material world, nobody wants to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yet this world has to run because He is the Param Ishvara. Whether it is Brahma, Shiva, even they cannot do anything without Vishnu's help to create, to annihilate. That is the nature of God, that is the nature of Vishnu. He is an unlimited personality with unlimited energies, all of which are under His control as a Param Ishvara. Material world is running, material energy is His energy. His energy is driven by Kala. And according to laws of guna and karma, the world is moving from today to tomorrow to next. It goes on. It is not that this world is not under the control of the Lord. Whether there is order in this world or whether there is chaos in the world, both are created by the Lord. When there is chaos, when there is confusion, when there is chaos, we all get confused. Oh, things are not in order. But for Krishna, it's not like that because He creates a chaos. That is also order. Anybody who creates a chaos, he'll watch. I'm in control. They'll all get confused. Oh, everything chaos. So as Prabhupada says here, they do not know whether it's Hitler or Napoleon. They have created to kill so many people. And they were also killed in the end. This is the nature of the material world. As I said, it runs according to Kala and Guna Kala and Karma. Everything has to end. Identity itself has to end. Where are all the names of all the people 100 years back who were on this earth? Where are they? That Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so have gone, but the souls are there somewhere else. That is a 18th century drama, 19th century drama. Pakka drama it is, because soul is eternal. In drama only temporarily you say his father, mother, relative, I am this, I am that drama rolls. This is not an analogy, it's actual fact. The actual fact that the living entity who is eternal is taking role play of different false ego, I am this body. And he lives his life for that body from birth to death. What a stupid thing. I work whole life for something I am not. Suppose we look back and say, okay, how many lives I have taken? In each life I was so much worried about my life. Arey, my life it is God. That's not my life at all. It was not my life at all. Same thing is going to happen this life also. I am thinking, this is my life. This my life is the biggest illusion. That is why Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Surrender your life to me. Go into the eternal dimension. How many lives, how many fathers I have had, how many lives, how many role plays I have played, thinking that they are mine. It does not require very great intelligence to understand this. Everything has a beginning and an end in this material world. So therefore there is no meaning. Meaning means eternal meaning. Everything has to be eternal. If I am Madhu Pandit, if I am Madhu Pandit forever, then that is meaning. If I have a body, if that is eternal, then that is meaning. The Lord is all-pervading as Vishnu in the heart of all living entities. The Lord is seated within every atom. That is eternal. Because it doesn't change. He doesn't change his body. He can take, without changing, same body, unlimited forms, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. I have to change a body, I have to throw this body, get another body. Krishna's one body, original body, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam it can take. That is why Krishna tells Arjuna, you have forgotten so many lives, I have not forgotten. I am the background of the entire history, I am watching everything. I am seeing all the lives Jivas take, seated in the heart of everyone. The Lord in our heart knows us more than we know. You only know your present. Even childhood you forget. What all dramas you did, so many lives, everything, that person is sitting right inside your heart. Right now he knows everything. How many lives you have taken? Anadikale. So what is the purpose of all this temporary life? Born as so-and-so, die as so-and-so. Again born as somebody else, again die as somebody else. Born as somebody, yes, there is a purpose. Either you remain like this in the eternal drama play according to law of karma, or it's a great opportunity, human form of life is a great opportunity to develop eternal life. This material world, for instance, we have a body, beautiful, wonderful body, how it functions, everything. Forget the scientific aspect. Even life itself is possible. I see you, you see you, relationship, all these things. Form, name, activities. All this name, form, identity, activities. The great opportunity for us to center it around Krishna. Our enjoyment, center it around Krishna. Our knowledge, center about Krishna. Our love, center around Krishna. Everything we center around Krishna. Krishna is eternal. Therefore it is said that even little devotion service you do in this life, or anybody, little he does, that is eternal. It goes into eternal record, not in the wiped out in karma. Punya, papa, everything gets wiped out life after life. But this bhakti account forever goes. Why? Because you pleased Krishna. Krishna is eternal. So real use of this human form of life is to engage in devotion service of the Lord. That really satisfies. We have to reverse this Krishna Bahirmukha. We have turned our face towards Krishna. Now everything should be centered around Krishna. It's a great opportunity for us in the human form of life to practice devotional service under the guidance of the spiritual master. Definition of devotion service means taking pleasure in giving pleasure to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Acting, thinking, feeling, willing according to the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Feeling oneself tiny and recognizing the infinite control, nature, knowledge, power, everything of the Supreme Lord who is all-pervading, who is within and without everything. So if we spend our life in hearing about Krishna, and hearing about Krishna Katha, hearing His holy name, engaging in His service, Navavida Bhakti, that is very much possible in the human form of life. So this world has a great significance. This world, though it is meaningless for false ego, for the real ego, it is very meaningful. Everybody is in a drama. In the same drama stage, the devotees are living real life. Why? Because they are free from the illusion of aham mama, temporary aham mama. They are on the stage of the drama. This material world is a stage of the drama. But they are serving the mission of the person who is above the drama. That is Krishna. Myself trying to come out of this drama, trying to bring others out of this drama and go to eternal life. And what is the purpose of drama? Seeking Satya Chitta and Ananda. Why we should go above this drama? Why we should transcend this drama? Because the soul seeks eternal knowledge, bliss. Soul seeks eternal Satya Chitta and Ananda. The so-called existence of this material world is asat. Just like in a movie, mountains appear, trees appear, houses appear, gone. The same way everything in the material world is asat. The body appears, stays for some time, it disappears, vanishes. Exactly like in the movie, it vanishes. The form vanishes, material identity vanishes. Nothing remains. How is it different from a movie? Movie is very short term, short. Suppose you are able to take your take your mind in a mind experiment, thought experiment. You move the time 100 years, very fast you move. What you will see? None of us are there. The mind is capable of this imagination, just see. You get detached. ये सब तमाशा है, हम कोई नहीं है इधर. We are all in new bodies. So then you become detached, vairagya. Because we think this is everything. This body is everything. Or we think today's problem is everything. I am in a big problem. The way he says it is an eternal problem. ये problem जाएगा ही नहीं. Every problem has come and it has left also. No problem is permanent in this material world. These are spiritualist things. When you get headache, instead of thinking I got headache, oh this will leave, guarantee. जाएगा ही. तो कोई बोलेगा नहीं वो कैंसर आएगा तो फुल लाइफ रहना. सो एट द टाइम ऑफ डेथ चले गए ना, कैंसर गया. You cannot be born in a new body with cancer. Everything comes, everything goes in this material world. What remains is the soul and Krishna. Krishna has watched your games. Kala is taken note through agency of Kala. Kala has noted everything in the material world. Punya, papa that you do, everything is noted. So therefore here, Swayambhuva Manu is giving Dhruva Mahārāja a transcendental vision, a transcendental view, world view, Shastric world view. And it is Satya, it is truth. The problem with this is we forget eternity. We leave the present. Nowadays there is a fashion. People say, live the present. Like that a child also is living. Animal is also living the present. A big philosophy hai kya? You have to live the present in the background of eternity. If you lose your background of eternity, then you will be lost in the glittering, momentary pleasures, momentary rasas of this world. That's what animal is. Animal has no perception of his tomorrow. That's what the child is. The modern self-help books, they live the present. Yes, it helps. Why? Because people are worried about the past. Kal kya hoga, aaj kya hoga. Utna depressed mat to abhi live like an animal. Animals are happy. Kal ke baare mein sochte hai, aage nahi sochte hai. But that is not the fact. It's a fact. We should live the present. Because I am not in control of the past. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. Yes, we should live in the present. Why? Brahma bhuta prasannatma. He is in eternity. Background is, I am eternal. Everything is eternal. Everything will come and go. These momentary bodily pleasures, happiness, love, power, everything is in the face of eternity. They are like fireflies. Just coming and going. Firefly, no? Light comes, goes away. Firefly goes away. Artificial created. So for the time it's bright, oh, light hai, tak, chala gaya. But the real light, not like flickering. Real light is always there is light. So real love is eternal love. So this Maya has got, this material world is designed like that, so that everything in the spiritual world is there in this material world. There is love, there is pleasure, there is power, there is knowledge. Everything that is there in the spiritual world is here. But it is duplicated for a moment. Duplicated for a moment. Phenomenally it is duplicated. Brain creates all this. Effect of pleasure. Brain creates. In the spiritual world you don't have a brain. Atma itself is Ananda. Any questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In the last few lines of this purport, it is mentioned that the devotees of the Lord are not much interested in the study of the flickering history of the world. They are only interested in in Him who is the original creator, maintainer and annihilator. That is the purpose of the Krishna conscious movement. So when we try to study the activities of our acharyas,
when you try to study
the activities of our acharyas in our sampradaya, in line with what was happening around around their world at that time, the circumstances they are dealing, like say Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura had to deal with lot of caste brahmanas and things like that. So some amount of studying of the material history also may be required at that time. So what are the,
See, every line you should not take like this. Very unfair to Prabhupada. If you take one line, Prabhupada said, we are not interested in studying the history. What does it mean?
Yeah, that's what I want to understand.
It means something. It means that we don't waste time in details of that history. If we don't waste time in trying to know, which war Napoleon fought and which year he fought and all those things, we are not interested in those history. But we have a macro understanding of history. We need to know how this world is, with respect to, as you said, under what circumstances Bhaktivinoda Thakur preached certain things, under what circumstances Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur preached, under what circumstances Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught, what was the world at that time, what was the world, we need to know. It is important to know so that we can appreciate their contribution, we can appreciate their revolutionary. They were revolutionaries in their own times. Today it is very easy to say something, but when there was, let's say today it is easy to say that through internet I will communicate and I'll make many people KC. What was in those days when print media had just come? Even today print is very common. In those days, print media was also only for few intellectuals it was. And hardly a few people were interested in all these things, in the sense that they were all, India, especially India, was so poverty-stricken, the literacy was so less. Only few people were highly educated in the last 200 years. So all this, whatever they have done, is a miracle in those times. Just like we say in a vague way, in some other year, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Precepts of Lord Chaitanya, he printed and sent to Canada, and it is there in the university even now. तो आजकल के सोचे ये क्या बात है, हम तो कुरियर में लगा के अभी भी भेज सकते हैं, क्या बड़ा काम किया है Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But in those days to do that, there is no courier. How it has reached the McGill library? How did it reach? So how much he would have planned it should reach there, it should reach to international library. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.